Hi guys, my name is Millie. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about something that I know a lot of us deal with, but don't always feel comfortable admitting it or talking about it, and that's financial anxiety. So maybe you are like me. You've been stressed out about bills, you've been stressed out about debt, and maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck, just tired of just experiencing the stress and the anxiety when it comes to money. I would love to share with you some tips that I have used, some things that I have implemented in my life that have helped me to decrease that anxiety that comes with finances. The first thing that has helped me in navigating anxiety that comes with finances is reflecting on my early experiences with money. And here's what I mean. Go back to your early experiences with money. Now, this could be your childhood, your upbringing, and even the home that you grew up in. The way we handle and feel about money right now was shaped before we even had money of our own. So ask yourself how your early experiences with money was. What type of household did you grow up in? What did you hear about money growing up, right? What did you see? What was said about money? And whether those things were good or bad, those things have shaped your money mindset, as I'd like to call it. And I believe that this is the first step to navigating just reducing that financial anxiety when it comes to money, because a lot of the anxiety and the fear that we experience when it comes to money is shaped by our early experiences with money. Reflecting on those early experiences is so important because it really shows us what we believe about money. So for example, maybe you can identify with some of these things. Maybe you grew up without having enough. I know for me, I grew up with having a lot, and I've also experienced not having a lot. So maybe for you, money was tight growing up. Maybe you often heard, can't afford it. No, you can't have that. There's food at home. And even as an adult, that experience can affect you, because even when you do have money coming in, it can feel like it's never enough. And I think that's how the scarcity mindset is then developed. And that scarcity mindset is tied into fear. As an adult, you may have money coming in, you may be doing okay, but then you're afraid to spend your money. So you feel the need to hoard it all, right? Even when it's okay for you to spend money. Again, unless you know this already, unless you know that this is how I view money, this is my problem, then you really cannot change that scarcity mindset. Maybe you're on the flip side. Maybe you didn't experience lack. Maybe you actually had everything that you needed. That's a good thing. However, that could possibly have problems of its own. Now, this is not for a lot of people, but for some. So you may find that you have trouble with overspending, that you indulge a lot. You feel entitled to a current lifestyle that your income cannot support. Maybe money was a taboo topic, right? Maybe money was not something that you talked about in your household. I know for a fact, I never heard my parents talk about money. Money was not something that was discussed. The only time that money was discussed is when something bad happened, right? Other than that, I had no education on how to handle money. No one explained budgets. No one explained savings to me. No one really explained to me the value of a dollar. So if you're like me, you probably stepped into adulthood with zero knowledge of financial literacy. You kind of had to figure it out on your own. I learned the hard way. I've made so many mistakes in my life when it comes to money, and some of the mistakes I'm still paying today. The point of you reflecting back to your early experiences with money is not about blaming your past. The point really is to help you to see how those early experiences have shaped your mindset when it comes to money. And when you know and understand the root of the issue, then you're in a better position to do something about it, to change your situation, to lessen that anxiety that comes with money. Personally, like I said, I definitely experience anxiety and stress when it comes to money at times, but I have learned that I don't have to stress out about money. I don't have to feel anxious about money. And I think I'm at a place right now where I'm not as stressed and anxious about money because I have put some things into place that have definitely decreased the anxiety that I used to have when it comes to money. I've started tithing. I started tithing in 2019. Prior to that, I was tithing, but not consistently. Now, I know tithing is an iffy topic and it may make others very uncomfy. So if it makes you uncomfy, I understand, but this is what I have been doing and this is what has been working for me. And if you are a believer, I do encourage you to tithe. If you're not a believer, you may not understand, but I still encourage you to continue to watch so you can just learn. Tithing is one of the most powerful acts of faith that you could ever practice. Study what the Bible says about tithing. You don't have to take my word for it, right? Study what it says about it, learn more about it. There's so many scriptures when it comes to that. Tithing tells God that, hey God, I trust you with my finances. My job is not my provider. My job is not my source. You are. And I think that is such a powerful way to show God that you trust him. And I think this shift alone reduces so much anxiety. So consider creating a budget. So if you do not have a budget, you need to create one now. Trusting God with your finances does not mean you're passive. You have to be an active participant in this if you really want to see a change, if you really want to experience the peace that comes with it, right? So why is it so important to create a budget? So creating a budget is really important because you get to see where your money is going. A lot of the financial anxiety that we face comes from the unknown. Let's be real. A budget shines a light on exactly where your money is going. It's alone that makes a difference. I remember for myself when I was just so tired of the cycle, I was just stressed and things just were not working out financially. I had to look at where my money was going. I had to print out my bank statements, and I really had to look like, wow, okay, I spent $300 eating out. But if you had asked me, do I eat out? I'm like, no, I don't eat out. But like my bank statement did not lie. Patterns show up in your budget, right? You see patterns of your spending in your budget. I know it can be scary. I know it can be daunting. Budget tells your money where to go, which I love. It literally gives every dollar a job to do before it even hits your account. When payday comes, I know exactly where every dollar is going. I used to get so nervous when payday came because I was so overwhelmed. I had all this money, I didn't know what to do with it, and then I ended up just buying whatever, and then I would realize, oh, I forgot to pay the light bill. Oh, I forgot the subscription. It was just a mess. I was a hot mess. Having a budget helps you to have a healthy relationship with money. Again, if you reflected on your early experiences, you really weren't taught to have a good relationship with money, having a budget helps you to relearn how to have a healthy relationship with money. When you stop avoiding your finances, you're gonna stop fearing them. You're gonna stop being stressed out about, how you're gonna make it, because you know exactly where your money is going. And honestly, that's where the peace begins, right? That's the point. Like, we don't want the anxiety, we want the peace. Because I believe that we're meant to enjoy our money. We're meant to enjoy, spending our money and not be so stressed out about it. Now, this is the last point. I would say what has helped me to lessen my anxiety when it comes to money is living within my means. And I would encourage you to do the same. Now, this seems so simple, but it takes a lot of intention. Living within your means means being content with the season that you're in financially. It means being creative in what you have. Now, to remind myself to just stay intentional and to live within my means, I always tell myself, if I can't buy it twice, then I can't afford it. That's just a good rule of thumb to help you to be intentional, to help you to stay within your means and not overspend. Credit card money is not your money. I will say that again. Credit card money is not your money. I have paid off my credit cards, and then have fallen into credit card debt again, pay them off, and it was just a cycle. So I think that if you consciously remember that just because you have $10,000 on your credit card, it is not yours, it does not belong to you. Because the moment you spend that money, you're gonna be stressed out about how you're gonna pay back that money. So it's not your money. Consider generic brands to save money, right? Small swaps over time really help you to save a little coin here and there. Now, I'm not saying, just be so cheap that you're just buying anything just for the sake of saving money, right? There's a way for you to save money and not compromise on what you desire, what you like, and the quality that you prefer. Know what your financial limits are. If you do have a budget, stick to the budget. You're gonna face a lot of temptation to do things that you cannot afford, to go out, do other things. Maybe you're on social media, you're seeing people doing different things, but you can't afford those things. That's okay. There's gonna come a time where you're gonna be able to do those things, but just know the season that you're in and be content with it. You don't need to deprive yourself from what you really want in order for you to save money. So just try to find a balance and use wisdom. So these are some things that I would encourage you to try out for yourselves if you're just finding out that you're kind of stressed and you experience some anxiety when it comes to money. So remember, it's important to reflect on your early experiences with money. I think that will give you so much insight into how you view money in the first place. Consider tithing, build a budget, live within your means, and that's that. None of these things that I've shared with you are overnight fixes. I know that. These are steps that you can take starting today. Yes, you're going to feel anxious. Yes, the stress is going to come, but it doesn't have to be the default. You can also have peace with your finances. So if this video has helped you, and I hope it did, drop a comment. I'd love to hear what your experience has been with money. And don't forget to share with someone who you believe may need this video. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you again for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.